Welcome back to Shem's Universe. So today, guys, we're going to go over the secret enemy year that nobody talks about. So the secret enemy year that nobody talks about is in numerology. And now what I mean by that is we always discuss, like, I bring up the universal year. It's a universal year 9. And then somebody will tell me, well, I'm in a personal year 1. What do I do? Well, the key to that is to make sure that neither of those numbers, the universal year or the personal year that you are currently in, is an enemy to you. Now, what do you mean by that, Shem? If you look at it from a Chaldean perspective, there's certain numbers like 2 and 9 that are enemies, right? 1 and 8 that are enemies. So a life path 1 in a personal year 8 might not make money the same way a life path 4 would in a personal year 8. The same thing goes for people that are life path 8s and they go in their personal year 1. My personal year 1 was garbage. Like, it was horrible in comparison to somebody who's a life path 1 or a life path 3 who's going to have a great personal year 1. They have new beginnings and possibly start a new business, and they're going to probably do like a whole bunch of stuff. They're going to do a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be really good for them, that's going to end up bringing about a positive result. So it all depends on what your actual life path number is, and then how it actually gets along with the personal year number that you're currently in. Sorry, guys, I need the AC, so sorry about the any feedback in the back. I apologize. But you need to know what life path you are, meaning use the basic way. You don't have to use the way I was talking about with the time and all that stuff. Use your basic life path and then look at what personal year are you in. So I'll go down the list so you guys understand it from a Chaldean perspective, what enemy numbers look like. If you're a life path 1, a personal year 8 is your secret enemy year. If you're a life path 2 or 11, your secret enemy year is going to be a personal year 9. If you're a life path 3, you have a secret enemy year in 6. If you're a life path 4, you have a secret enemy year in 2 or 11, meaning like 2018 would have been the last one for you guys. If you're a life path 5, you have no enemy year because you're a G. I'm joking, but yeah, you guys don't have any enemy year. Life path 6, you have an enemy year 3. Life path 7, you have an enemy year 9, I would say as well. And then I'd say life path 8, enemy personal year 1. And then life path 9, secret enemy year would be the 2 or 11 again. So understanding that, guys, you have to then compare and contrast. There's a couple of times you can have extreme enemy circumstances, and I'll give you the combination. It's going to be a shorter video. It's very direct, very basic. The direct enemy year is, of course, you have your Chinese astrology enemy year. I'm a dog, I'm in a dragon year. Oh no. 2024 is beautiful for me because I'm an 8, so numerology supersede that, obviously, and it's just a given. But let's say I was in a universal year 1, and then I was somehow in like a personal year 1. It wouldn't happen based off of when I was born. I just know the math of how that would work. But let's say that happened. I would be in extreme trouble. Somebody around me probably would have died. I probably would have lost a lot of money. Anything I did probably just led to bad results. So you have to, there's ways to look at each year, and that's within your transit report where you're able to see like what is going to hit you each year. Meaning like what's actually going to happen. Like people will say to me, oh, I'm having enemy year coming up. How do I prepare? I'm like, get my transit report. Because with my transit report, I'm then going to tell you what exactly is going to happen to you from a financial perspective, a health perspective, family perspective, education. If you go to school, tell me so I can tell you how you're going to do in school that year. And then also just overall luck. And then also in the transit reports now, I'll be including regimens to actually improve your overall luck for the current year that you're in. So that's a whole other thing as well. But you have to understand, guys, in enemy years, you can completely debilitate your enemy year if you know what it's attacking you with. And that's going to be with the transit report. You're going to understand that completely. But the next thing is you have to understand when you're in an enemy year. Because everybody just says, oh, well, it's not my Chinese enemy year, so it's not my enemy year. Yeah, it is. You have to look at your universal year, which is very, very important. Meaning life path 7s this year are not doing that great. I'm not saying you guys aren't doing good, because I have a 7 as my birth number as well. But it's a little bit rougher. It's definitely a little bit rougher. If you're a 7 and you're a snake Chinese sign, maybe it's a bit better for you. But I say again, numerology supersedes it. It's probably a bit rough. I know some 7s right now, they're super going through it. So it's not the best, especially from a health standpoint. When you look at the universal year, it's the same rules that I just listed off applies. But let's say you have an enemy universal year and then an enemy personal year at the same time. Like after your birthday, you go into an enemy. You need to get a enemy year ritual, or you need to go to a shaman or somebody who does voodoo and figure that one out. Because without it, no matter what you do, even if your karma's good and you haven't done anything wrong and you feel like you're living on this big moral compass and you're self-righteous, you're religious, you're everything, you can still get screwed over completely. So you have to understand that and then know the workarounds for it. There's a lot of glitches for it. There's enemy year glitches. There's gems you can wear. There's colors you should be wearing. There's days you should be going out, days you should avoid going out, months you should try to get money, months you should avoid even like socializing or dealing with people or networking at all. These are found within, there's 2 distinctive services I offer to deal with enemy years. And the 2 ones are the transit, like I said, goes over everything from a health standpoint, financial standpoint, education standpoint, relationship standpoint, luck standpoint, all of it. And then we have very specifically, the enemy year ritual. Now, when I look at your enemy years, understand guys, a lot of you guys that have gotten that from me so far have done it for your Chinese enemy year. But understand that the enemy year ritual also applies to numbers. And it's a different ritual when it comes to numbers, how you have to deal with it. Depending on your exact life path number, I'll tell you exactly how to combat your enemy year completely. Now, let's say for the last portion of this video, you're down your luck, you're like, Shem, it's at my enemy year, so you should have figured out I was broke. Cool. Let me help you guys. If you're completely in a bad situation where you can't get any rituals done, you can't afford it, you can't get any transit reports to see how to dodge certain things in given months or certain weeks or certain days, I can get that detailed. I'm about to bring up my new transit reports now. We're just giving you month to month, week to week of a whole entire year, what to expect. It's gonna be a lot more expensive, but it's detailed down to a very pretty much every day. Pretty much every day of the year is you're gonna be told what's gonna happen, how to move around it, what to do. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit more expensive, but for sure worth it if you're actually going through it. The free glitch though is this: if you're in an enemy year, let's say you're life path 1 and you're in an enemy year 8, your personal year is 8. You got to focus especially on karma, money, status, and power at that time. How do you do that? You want to control your thoughts, words, and actions more. You want to make sure that you're following a moral compass more than you ever have. So you got to bring out the best version of yourself during an enemy year to at least appease your enemy, because your enemy is trying to teach you a lesson. It's not really an enemy. It's really a teacher year. It's trying to teach you a very distinctive lesson, and it's going to teach it to you in a very harsh way with an iron clod. So the only way to get around that is to actually understand your enemy. If you're in an enemy year, study that number and what it likes more. Because if you can appease it, these are all demigods. If you can appease the demigod by giving it what it likes, you'll win it over anyways. You want to seduce it with your actions. If you are in a situation where you're in a Chinese enemy year, I know these guys online, oh, just stay low key, you'll be all right. Like, that's not going to work. Try to keep your karma as clean as possible. Follow that moral compass for sure. And just mitigate what you're doing, mitigate risk, but don't become some sort of monk and cut yourself off from everybody, or that person that's just an island and all of a sudden you have no networks or connections and your enemy are actually screwed you over because you seclude yourself too much. You want to make sure you seclude yourself and isolate, but at the same time you network and do things appropriately. It's really just a year that's supposed to bring the best out of you, and you're supposed to actually say, I'm going to be more competitive this year, be more driven. There's some people that literally challenge the enemy directly and say, I'm actually going to take more risks, because they actually just want to be a more disciplined and hardened version of themselves. So you can use it like that, but if there's other ways to do workarounds, like I said, enemy year rituals for sure is the easiest. And then looking at your transits helps you map it out completely to discern your actions, whether you're going to invest in something, buy a car, buy a house, when you're supposed to move, how you're supposed to move, when you're supposed to go for a new job, when you're going to have a good time with money, when not. You can know all those things predetermined, and then you can actually navigate your life around that and have a great year anyways. For people that have gotten my transit reports and actually follow them, what do they tell me? Yeah, my enemy year was better than actually my other regular years because I had more detail about it. It's like having a roadmap to go somewhere, and it was a very good one, in other words. So yeah, guys, that should conclude the video for today. That's the secret enemy year. So understand that it's not just Chinese astrology that gives you enemy year, numerology does too. And understanding both, you have the keys to actually navigate around all of your problems and then use it to your advantage. You can twist these things around, and in your enemy year, you can have a better year than you would on average. But you have to have the right knowledge and apply it and implement it in the right and correct sequence. All right, so thank you guys so much for your time today. If you have any questions for me, if you're interested in any of those readings, hit me up on my Instagram, shemsuniverse 8.0, or email me at shemsuniverse@hotmail.com. Aside from that, thanks for your time today, guys. Peace.